Hanny Time. A daily look at sports from our resident historian. Your sports break during your lunch break. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. Here's Charles Hannegriff.
And a pleasant good afternoon to you, and welcome to Hanny Time 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff along with Mario Jerez, Taylor Sharp. Watching the weather. Careful out there. It's not the nicest day here in the capital city. It was sort of a nice day for the Louisiana basketball last night. Half good day. By the way, Scott Rabley with us in 15 minutes. First class, second class, no class at the bottom of the hour, which had a last-minute change this morning. I'll explain what that means later. It means nothing to anybody but me, but it's my show, so I'm going to clue you in on that. LSU basketball, a winner last night over North Carolina Central, 67-57. In no means a remarkable game. LSU struggled to put this team away for a long period of time, and then finally took control in the second half. A lot of times the way you expect that these games will go is the favorite at home gets out to a big lead. At some point, the underdog will punch back and go on a little mini run, and the favorite will run out and win it by 2-3 touchdowns. But this is an LSU team that is still coming together, that at 9-1 is still trying to find itself. So what stood out to me about last night's game, which, like I said, was certainly not the most exciting thing you've ever seen in your life, but was another LSU win. John Brady was with us last Friday. John Brady, he's smart, man. He said, you know what LSU's looking for is some more scores. Really a number 3 scorer. They need somebody besides KJ Williams and Adam Miller to carry the load. So since Brady said that on Friday, 2 players have really stepped up in a couple of different ways. Derek Fountain and Cam Hayes. And I think that was really kind of the story of the game, not only last night, but on Saturday as well. Derek Fountain, going into the game on Friday, a game on Saturday, when Brady talked to us on Friday, had scored in single digits in 7 of the 8 games so far. In the last 2 games, he's gotten 11 and now 17. So he stepped up his scoring. Cam Hayes, going into the weekend's game with Wake Forest, had averaged 6 points a game. He's had 13 points and 14 points in the last 2 games. There's other things I like about Fountain and Hayes. Fountain has gone to the glass. In his first 7 games, he had 24 rebounds combined. In his last 3, he has 25. Would be more, right? Okay, you're stepping up your effort there. What I like about Hayes is he doesn't turn the ball over. In 56 minutes in the last 2 games, he's played 28 and 28. He's turned the ball over 1 time. So not only are they scoring, they're doing other things to help you win. KJ Williams was also, he was good again, and he's been good all season, so your standard was there. Here's the problem, though, over the last really 3 games, but specifically the last 2, is one of your first 2 scorers is now not scoring. Okay, Adam Miller was, it was KJ Williams and it was Adam Miller through the first 7-8 games of the season, and Brady was talking about, hey, listen, they need some other guys to score. Well, problem is that through the last 2 games, Adam Miller has not scored much at all. In the last 2 games, he's 1 for 20 from the floor. He's 1 for 14 from 3-point range. In his first 8 games, he averaged right at 17 points a game. In the last 2, he's got 1 field goal. And last night, he didn't make a bucket. So he was 0 for 10 last night. He was 1 for 10 in the game on Saturday. It's really 3 games in a row that he's been on a little mini shooting slump. 3 made baskets against Texas Arlington, and then the Wake Forest game where he made 1, and last night where he made none. As trends go, this is not good. It's also not something I expect to continue. Miller's too good of a player for that to last very long, but right now he is in the Arctic. He is in the North Pole of shooting slumps right now. He's so cold. I suspect that'll come back around. Matt McMahon talking last night about the win over UNC Central.
Always going to celebrate winning. Proud of our players, finding a way to win again today. I thought we had stretches where we played very well. Still continuing to search for consistency, like every team in America. But I thought we had some tremendous individual efforts. You look at the front court with KJ and Derek in the first half. I believe there are 29 points and 14 rebounds at the break. And then Cam Hayes just continues to play at a high level. Overall, obviously want to win the game. That's the ultimate goal is to go 1-0, but also searching for improvement.
It's fine. It's fine. We're trudging along here through a strength of schedule that right now ranks 225th in the country. So, listen, I'm glad they're winning. I'm hoping that he's seeing the kind of progress that he wants to see. And there's a few more games of this. They're going to play, 2 more games of this. They're going to play Winthrop on Saturday, whose net is 263, and East Tennessee State, who may be the worst team on their whole schedule, with a net of 324. LSU's, by comparison, is 79 right now. K-State was 41. Wake Forest is 88. We've got a decent sample size now. We got about 10 games. Price of poker's going up, though. As soon as they get into the SEC, they open with Arkansas and Kentucky, and those are both top 15 teams and top 30 NET teams. So it's about to get a little bit more difficult for LSU. But I understand why he put this schedule together the way he did. I understand that it was necessary. I understand they took over the whole roster. It's just there's a limited amount of enthusiasm I can get over beating the Winthrops and UNC Centrals of the world. But we'll see how much they are prepared when they step into the arena for real here in a couple of weeks. But the roles of Fountain and Hayes were interesting last night, and I am encouraged by what I've seen over the last 2 games from both of them. And McMahon talked about that after the game.
Can't say enough good things about them. Derek and Cam, again, them going into the starting lineup, it's not a demotion of anybody. It's not anybody getting benched. It's 2 guys who have been very consistent in practice, their effort, their energy, their ability to impact winning. It's amazing how this works. It's carried over from the practice floor to the game floor. So really happy for them and the success that they're having. The thing I would mention with Derek, you see the 17 and 14, that's great. The 7 offensive rebounds is great, but he's providing leadership. And his effort, his hustle, you hope that becomes contagious throughout the team. And Cam, the same thing. He's been very efficient. He's moving the basketball. He's taking high-quality shots. And I can't say enough about 7 defensive rebounds at the guard position.
And I don't have any problem with the effort or the hustle. I don't have any problems, schematically with anything that they're doing. It's just that they are doing it on most nights against teams that are far inferior to the talent level that LSU's got, even where LSU's talent level is not what they hope that it will eventually be. We're brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. Hey, during the holidays, you're looking for, a different dish? Go to the website. They've got some unique recipes there that, hey, is it your turn to bring something? You don't want to bring the same old, same old. Check out some of the recipes that they've got there. You're going to be supporting our Louisiana farmers by buying Supreme Rice. All of our Supreme Rice grown, milled, and processed down near Crowley, Louisiana, and Southwest Louisiana. Easy to get. All your AG food stores, all your Walmarts, all of your Rouses, all of your Winn-Dixies, and you're going to stretch that food dollar. So whether it's rice dressing or gumbo or some other dish for this holiday season, for your parties, for your family get-togethers, make it Supreme Rice. For more information, go to SupremeRice.com. Pelicans news was not as good if you stayed up to watch the game against Utah. The Pels' 7-game win streak comes to an end at 121-100. There are games like this in the NBA schedule over the course of 82 games. It's why it, in my opinion, is the most difficult of the regular seasons to handicap if we're talking about wagering, because there's some nights where the ball just doesn't go down. You say, well, it happens in football and baseball. You have it. Yeah, it does. But in the NBA, you never know when there's going to be an injury. They're at a point in the schedule where they're worn down. It's the end of a road trip, back-to-backs, or sometimes it just comes out of nowhere, and that's what happened on New Orleans yesterday. They couldn't throw it in the ocean, as my friend Jim Hawthorne used to say. They were 4 out of 27 from three-point range. The surprising thing, and some nights the ball just doesn't go down. I didn't think they took a lot of bad shots. I thought Utah played reasonable defense, but nothing like, oh my God, look what they're doing. So some nights the ball just doesn't go down. And when you shoot 4 for 27 from three-point range, you're going to get beat. I was surprised that they got out-rebounded as thoroughly as they did. They were out-rebounded 59-43, and they are the 6th best rebounding team in the league by rebounding differential. The Jazz are 12th, so they're not bad. But the Pels usually don't get hammered on the boards the way they did last night, and Willie Green talked about that rebounding making a difference for Utah last night.
The energy, the effort, the mindset wasn't there. They had almost 60 rebounds. We missed a lot of shots, but we have to force them to miss shots, and they had 19 offensive rebounds. That's uncharacteristic of our team and our standards, allowing a team to rebound that much on us.
It's a big basketball team in Utah. Lauri Markkanen seems like he just waits on the Pelicans. Now, this is a good player, okay? Markkanen is a top player, but man, he has had some outings against the Pels so far this year. First game, he had 31 and 12 last night. I was shocked when I went to the box score before I went to bed. And like, what'd that guy have? 27 and 17. He had 19 and 11, but it seemed like every time they needed a shot hit or a rebound got, there was Markkanen. Some good news out of the game last night. First, Zion dominant again, 26-9 and 5. He was in foul trouble in the first half, sat out more minutes than he would have with 3 fouls in the first half. They got Herb Jones back after 2 weeks off, and Herb certainly looked healthy. And for the first time in over a year, we saw Kyra Lewis, the former lottery pick, 370 days since Lewis was injured. He had 4 points late in the game when the issue had been decided. Green emptied his bench. And Zion Williamson talked about what Kyra Lewis has been through.
I know how that feels. So, even though the game was what it was, just seeing him back on the court, that's one of those bigger than basketball moments. Just because people don't understand, the rehab is harder than playing in the game itself and practicing with the team. Rehab is the hardest thing because it's not only a physical battle, but it's a mental battle. Because I remember when he first did it, we would talk like, as an athlete, it influenced your everyday life. You can't walk the same. Like, there are things where you may kind of want to jog to, but you can't. You kind of watch everything you do because you don't want to misstep or do anything. So seeing him back out there, that meant a lot to me, and I hope it meant a lot to him as well.
Ain't turning down no help with the return of Kyra Lewis, and I don't expect him to log major minutes anytime soon, but it's just one more layer. This is a guy that, 3 years ago, less than 3 years ago, was a lottery pick. So we're talking about somebody with some talent. He can help you, and they don't have to rush him back. So I thought that was good news. Again, these shooting numbers are going to fluctuate over the course of a season. Nobody has it every night. We talked about Adam Miller for LSU. Trey Murphy, who just 3 games ago, it seemed like he had been a month since he had missed a shot. I mean, he was approaching 50, 40, and 90. Oh, actually was over in 2 of those categories, field goals, 3-point, and free throws. Well, in the last 3 games, he's 420, and he's 2 out of 13 from 3-point range. He'll be fine. It's a little mini slump. Not worried about it at all. The not so great news was that Brandon Ingram's got to be reevaluated for that toe injury. B.I. was on the end of the bench last night, but is not going to be playing in any of the games on this road trip. So we'll wait to see what else we can hear about that. And the other good news was the Lakers lost in overtime last night.
What's our vector, Victor?
Yeah, our vector is 29% for a top 4 pick and 6.7% for the top pick in the draft. Hey, look, I enjoyed it because the Lakers really wanted to win last night. They don't always. Last night they really wanted to win. Anthony Davis played 46 minutes. There have been months where Anthony Davis hasn't played 46 minutes. He really wanted to play last night. Season high. LeBron James played 43 minutes last night. He plays when AD plays. When AD takes a night off, LeBron usually does too. Second most minutes that he has played in a game this year. They really, really wanted to win. Boston beat him anyway. That's a shame. Tied for 7th worst record in the league. Scott Rabelais, when we come back, this is Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time.
If you're looking for something for that special someone in your life, Selassie in Denham Springs. when you're going to get jewelry, if you're like us guys, you don't know what's going on. Happened to Taylor. He went in. He asked for a little bit of help. These the people at Selassie, certified diamond graduates from GIA, which means that they can design, build, or repair any stone that you've got. Family owned and operated and conveniently located in the Antique District in Denham Springs. They're here to bail you out, guys, here during the Christmas season. And up until Christmas, they are open 7 days a week, so they're going to have time for you if your schedule is busy. Everybody's busy during the holidays. They do ring sizing, watch band adjustments, service watches from Timex all the way up to Rolex. So you got that special someone in your life that you need a gift for, and you don't even know where to start. Start at Selassie in the Antique District in Denham Springs.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty.
Hey, it's Hunt. Join me 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock on Wednesday. J.D. Pickell of On 3 Sports will join us to talk college football, Tigers on the hardwood, and the Pels, plus the transfer portal. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time with Charles Hannegriff on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com. Joining us right now, Scott Rabelais from The Advocate. Rab, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, Charlie. I'm looking at the window of my home office and seeing my outdoor patio flood. But
yeah, got to be a little bit cautious today. The weather is going to be the weather outside is frightful, not
yes.
cold frightful. The other.
Yes. Two hands on the wheel, everyone.
Yeah, the other thing that we deal with down here in South Louisiana. Rab, you had a column this morning about Mike Leach, and we spent a lot of time yesterday talking about Mike Leach, but I want your thoughts about him. One of the anecdotes that you put in there was that your first contact with him was when he was an assistant coach at Oklahoma and trying to break in as a head coach. That would have been back in the late 90s.
Yeah, this was during the LSU search for, they fired Jerry DiNardo and they were going to hire Nick Saban. But the search was kind of flailing about. People from back then may remember they were about to turn to assistant coaches. And that's when Joe Dean heard from Sean Tuohy and said, "Hey, Nick, have you thought of Nick Saban?" And of course, the rest is history. But I was sitting in the newsroom one day, just typing away at my desk, and I got a call, and it was Mike Leach. And I certainly didn't want to be quoted, but I'd heard of him. He started to build up a reputation. I'd heard of him, and he was hoping to get his name put in the mix for the LSU job. And I didn't think it was my place to do that, and I certainly didn't think he was a very viable candidate at LSU. And of course, soon after that, LSU hired Saban, and soon after that, he got the job at Texas Tech. So all's well that ends well. But it was certainly it was certainly a unique experience. I don't think I've ever had any other coach do that with me. And certainly not one, especially one I didn't know at all, other than by reputation.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that that's an agent's job. And I have no idea, but I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if at that point in his life, Leach didn't have an agent.
Yeah, I think considering the time frame and where he was in his career, that's probably a good bet.
Yeah, we all hear for that's kind of the agent's job, but it would be just like Mike Leach to not have an agent and make the call himself. We've all in the business heard from agents, and you can tell when an agent is trying to drum up some support. They leak you a little information, and sometimes it's right and sometimes it's not. Best to check these things. I'm telling you like you don't know. But, you can tell when an agent's, stumping for a candidate. That's not unusual at all. For the candidate to stump for himself is not, I would say not common about it. But besides that, you had a chance to, you're at Media Days every year, so you've seen him there and you've seen him on television and whatnot. What else about Mike Lee? I mean, We've been hearing stories for 2 days, and they're almost all good about Mike Leach. So what else will you remember about this guy?
I think it's just the overall picture of the guy. He was just so much outside the mold. If football coaches, not to run them down, but they're not generally a very imaginative, creative, expressive group, right? I mean, they're usually guys who are very I'm following this. We did this last year, so we're going to do this. Or if they're innovating, they're copycatting someone who's had success. And certainly a lot of people copycatted Mike Leach. And of course, he had his coaching tree that's been quite successful. I love Bill Martin's story on your show yesterday about Josh Heupel.
Yeah.
And what he saw in him as a player, as a quarterback back then. But he was just so different. And I have to full disclosure, I don't think I would have enjoyed covering Mike Leach week in, week out over the course of a season, and then the recruiting and all that. Because I imagine there are times when, as colorful as he was, it was hard to get him to give you the answer that you were hoping to get, or something in the ballpark. But just from afar, and just him as a concept. And just him in a situation like Media Days or on the SEC teleconference, the week LSU would play Mississippi State, he was a breath of fresh air, and very much like a lot of basketball coaches. I think very colorful people. You mentioned John Brady, and just something you didn't see in football, and just a different guy. And the fact what Bill said, I think, is very true. The fact that he was very innovative. Speaks to his creativity and his intelligence, and those people are they think differently, and he certainly did. And I'm glad he was part of college football, because he's certainly, there was no one like him, and there'll never be anyone else like him again.
Yeah, you know why, Rab? Here's the way I've always thought about it. Okay, the paranoia level is highest for football coaches. It's a little bit less for basketball coaches, and it's at its lowest for baseball coaches. Okay, the paranoia that the plan is going to get out is very high for football coaches. Always has been. Leach, actually, there's a great story about when he planted a fake call sheet for the Oklahoma-Texas game, and actually he deked Carl Reese. And Bull was no fool. We got to know Carl Reese really well when he was the defensive coordinator here. But he swallowed the story for about 2 or 3 drives and found out that Leach had gamed him. But when you brought up basketball coaches, I said this Monday or yesterday that there are some similarities, not all, but some similarities to Dale Brown. Especially Dale at the end of his career, where Dale was really more interested in other things. He would rather talk to you about, the NCAA's injustice towards the athletes or some cause somewhere or some project he had taken up than he would about basketball. And at times, and look, I love Dale Brown, always have. But there were times, especially in the last couple of years of his career, where it got a little bit frustrating. It's like, Dale, listen, I get it, okay? The NCAA is a bunch of evil people, and no argument. But what about what about the defense? You're giving up 90 points a game, or something like that. And I think that Leach probably listen. We looked at it from the outside, and it's like, man, that guy's funny. That guy's great. But if you covered him every day and you had to be a beat writer for it, and you had to actually find out about the backup left tackle, yeah, it might have been a little bit. A little bit tougher. Well, hey, how many people outside the market really enjoyed the Les Miles occasional, really out there comment? It's like, oh, that guy's so funny. It's like, it was a struggle at times when you had to go to Les's press conferences.
It was like a mosquito. Mosquitoes. They jump and that was Les. And but that's a very apt comparison. And like Randy Rosetta, who a lot of people will remember, used to cover LSU with us, the Advocate, and at the time Picayune as well. He covered him at Texas Tech, and he covered Leach at Texas Tech, and he said it was kind of frustrating at times. And I asked him one time, I said, do you think he would ever, because he probably told him the story about Leach calling me. I said, do you think he would ever be a fit for LSU or something like that? And he said, oh, no. He said he just didn't care about defense, at least then. He just didn't care. He was so focused on the offense and what he was trying to create and innovate there. And people, as we know, care about their defense here, rightly so. And so I don't think some people probably wondered, would he have been good at LSU? Probably not. Yeah. But he found his niche, and he made the best of it.
Somebody used the term off Broadway. I forgot who said that. It's reasonable to, the best of the off Broadways was Mike Leach. Look, the sport's going to miss him because he was unique. Rab, before we let you go, any thoughts about LSU football, the comings and goings as we get into it'll be the Christmas break, but in the bowl preps and roster remaking, as it were, signing dates a week from today.
Yeah, just some of these kids, you go, okay, I understand that. Dre Jenkins is putting this time, Jay Ward, and stuff like that. Some of them leaving, you kind of scratch your head, and it's like, Cole Taylor leaves, and like, you couldn't see yourself a chance to play. They only have one scholarship tight end at the moment, but maybe they're encouraged to say, hey, we're bringing these guys in, and it's time to go. I don't know, but I think people. It's very. I would just say in general to fans and listeners, it's whoever your team is, LSU, whoever. It's very easy to get freaked out to see all these guys, double-digit guys, leaving, and you don't know where it's coming from. There's a plan, and I believe there's. We'll have to see when all recruiting is over in February. But there's a plan at LSU. I think they have targets and they have guys they have an idea on. And the positions of need, rush in, cornerbacks, tight end, and you're starting to see some of those fruits of those things. So I think I would let it all play out. It's hard though because it's so new and it's just so crazy right now. But it's a crazy time in sports, right? We got football. We still got football. The bowl games coming. The playoffs are coming. Basketball. Charlie, just check the bracketology and the net rankings on the women's side. The LSU women are up to a 2 seed, according to Charlie Cream on ESPN, and they're the number 4 NET team right now. They haven't played anybody good yet, but some good respect for the Tigers so far on the women's side.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see when they get into conference play. I suspect they'll be very, very good, but I'm anxious to see it. Rab, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Charlie. Take care.
And we'll take a break here. First class, second class, no class. When we return, Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time.
Acura and Infinity of Baton Rouge right now. As we get towards year-end, 3.9% APR for 60 months on most models on the lot, and $1,000 in loyalty cash on your MDXs and your TLXs. The 2-year, 24,000-mile complimentary scheduled maintenance on all 2023 models. Checking out the pre-owned inventory last night, a large selection right now of certified pre-owned vehicles, 7 years, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, roadside assistance, and your first scheduled maintenance is free on all of your certified pre-owned vehicles at Acura and Infinity of Baton Rouge. Listen, I bought multiple vehicles there. The next time we go to buy one, which is coming up here very shortly, it's going to be from Acura and Infinity again. Transparency in pricing and a completely relaxed buying experience, family-owned and operated. You're going to enjoy that experience at Acura and Infinity of Baton Rouge.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs.
For a special NFL triple header this Saturday. The Vikings host the Colts at noon, then the Browns host the Ravens at 3:30, followed by the Bills and the Dolphins at 7:15 p.m. Then on Sunday, the Jets host the Lions at noon, all on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time with Charles Hannegriff on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Hanny Time. First class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
That no man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
My life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. All right, so I had to make an audible. Actually, I'm just going to go do a double. Yesterday, I was listening to Feinbaum because I wanted to hear some of the reaction to Mike Leach, okay? There's certain days where I want to listen to Feinbaum. Any day after Alabama loses is a given. And the days where there's a really, really significant story in the Southeastern Conference, I like to listen to Feinbaum to see what the reaction is. Not every day, but from time to time. And on a day like yesterday, I want to hear. So there was this guy named Pete that called in from Idaho. All right, so this is outside of Feinbaum's primary footprint, right? And Pete, it was a memorable phone call. I've taken my fair share of phone calls on the radio, right? And the one thing is, if a guy starts to ramble a little bit, you kind of try to move him on as best you can, or you just cut him off. This guy put together about a 6-minute phone call that I would not have touched, and Feinbaum didn't either, and it was phenomenal. Pete was the bus driver at Washington State when Leach was the coach there, and he was a retired corrections officer, and one of his jobs was to drive the inmates on the bus when they had to transport them. And up in that part of the country, there are ramps on your hillside roads where if you get to going where you can't stop, you can pull onto one of these roads. And so Leach goes up to ask Pete, the bus driver, if he's ever had to go up on one of these roads. And he says, well, coach, not with the team or anything, but, with the inmates. With the inmates, hang on. He says, and Mike Leach engaged him in a conversation about what it was like to work in a prison. He says, and then he engaged him in all these other discussions. And this is not very, very long ago, because it was at the time where there were satellite camps, which we all remember from, a few years back. And he says, I had to take the Washington State coaches on the satellite camp tour in California. He says, we spent hours and hours and hours on this bus. And all Leach wanted to do was talk to me about anything but what we were doing. Anything but football, anything but recruiting. He says, we talked about prison. I talked about my family. The point being that this guy's voice cracked half a dozen times with emotion. So it wasn't BS. Sometimes you get a troll just calls and wants to, hey, let me tell you, I live next door to this coach and, he's a Satan worshiper on Tuesdays. Okay, stop. This guy was genuine. I mean, you could tell with the emotion in his voice and the detail with which he told the story. It was, been in the business a while, man. I don't get moved by phone calls very often, or ones that are, rememberable forever. Pete, the bus driver, was great yesterday. And so it was another tribute from somebody that nobody knows for Mike Leach, and it was really, really nice. But I had to add something this morning because a small miracle happened to me. If you've been listening to Moscona's show at all, and you should because the guy's great, I left my bag in the Atlanta airport when we came back from the SEC championship game. Completely my fault. It was a carry-on bag because we were going for 2 days, right? And I packed light. Now, Moscona and Hester packed like they were going on a 3-week tour of Europe. Hey, bring your warm clothes for when we're in Switzerland, and when we're getting to Greece, it's hot, okay? These guys look like the Melda Marcos. But anyway, I got this little bag, and I left it in security, okay? In a hurry, trying to get dressed as you get through TSA and all that stuff. And, guy behind me wasn't really pushing me, but he was in a hurry too. So I get about halfway down the concourse, and it's like, oh, bleep, I forgot my bag. So I go back to try and get it, at which point it's gone. And it was a very small black bag with a little brown leather strip on it. They only run, I think, 25,000 of these things through Atlanta Airport a day. So I spent the whole flight home trying to inventory in my head what I had in the bag, and it was nothing of any real value. There's a couple of changes of clothes, a phone charger. The one thing I really wanted out of the thing was a sports jacket that I had brought and a pair of shoes. And get back, and I tell my wife what a stupid thing I did, and she says, well, let's file a lost bag claim. I'm like, file it if you want. There's a gazillion bags that look like that, and my name wasn't on it. There was nothing in the bag that would have identified it as mine except for one thing. I had an ESPN Baton Rouge staff shirt in there, which I would have liked to have had back because it's the one long sleeve one that I've got that survived the latest purge. And this morning, 2 weeks later, TSA Lost and Found called my phone. You look down, TSA. Oh, I got to take this. And the nicest lady you ever want to hear says, Mr. Hannegriff, we found your bag. And if you give me your email address, I will, give me an email address that's good because the other one kicked back. I'll be happy to send it to you. Hit the link, pay the shipping, and we're going to send you your bag. And so I did that this morning. So I'm going to get my bag back. I'd imagine that this very nice lady, who never identified herself, so I don't know her name, I'd call it out, called me this morning after sifting through 2 weeks' worth of bags to find mine, to call me to say, hey, we sent it to this email address. She could have said, hey, you know what, the email kicked back. I don't know why. Maybe there was something out of place. Something was misspelled. Whatever. And my bag is coming home. So Moscona can shut up about what a stupid thing it was that I did this. I'm sure that he won't. So first class, listen, the Atlanta airport gets ragged on all the time just because it's so big. Let me tell you something about the Atlanta airport. If your flight gets canceled or it gets delayed, you got a better chance of getting out of Atlanta than pretty much anywhere else in the country. So I'm okay with it. And nobody likes to go through security at the airport. We didn't like to go through security at the airport before 9/11, much less now where it's, somewhat invasive at times. These people have to deal with this every day. It's like working in a dentist's office. You see nothing but angry people coming all day. Nobody wakes up and goes, I get to go to the dentist today. Nobody wakes up and goes, I get to go through airport security today. So she sees nothing but angry people all day, every day. Couldn't have been nicer. First class. Thank you very much. Second class. This Saturday. If you're a sports fan, this is where you eat, man. You got your choice. 6 bowl games. Fenway, Las Vegas, the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. Something I never thought I'd say. The Lending Tree, that's in Mobile, the New Mexico Bowl, the Frisco Bowl, that's Frisco, Texas, not San Francisco. Some decent matchups, Cincinnati, Louisville, SMU, BYU, Oregon State, and what's left of Florida. There's some decent stuff there. Triple header in the NFL. I don't know if they planned it this way, but the games get better as the day goes on. Colts, Vikings, Ravens, Browns, better. Dolphins, Bills, okay, that's pretty cool. See if Tua can play in the snow. That's good. And then you got a half a dozen ranked matchups in college basketball. You got Indiana at Kansas. You got Alabama and Gonzaga playing in Birmingham. Number 5, Houston at number 2, Virginia. UCLA and Kentucky are playing at Madison Square Garden. And the last game of the day might very well be the best one. This is really the one I want to see the most. Number 6, Tennessee is at number 9, Arizona. Watched Arizona last week against Indiana. If there's somebody better in the country, they got the Twin Towers look going. They're really good. So I want to see how Tennessee does against them. So second class, good with a chance to be great. We have got a great schedule. My guess is we're going to get some great games out of it as well coming up this Saturday. And my no class goes to the NFL. Selective enforcement is the term that we're going to talk about. This is for the fine on Cam Jordan and Ryan Newman and Dennis Allen and the Saints for Jordan's fake injury against Tampa Bay. Never mind that Cam Jordan has missed all of 2 games in his NFL career, and one of them was for COVID protocols. Never mind the fact that he missed the next 3 snaps on the next drive because, Cam Jordan's not a guy that the Saints would want to have out there if he's healthy. No, you're healthy, you're ready to go, you're ready to play. No, sit out. If Cam Jordan's on the sideline, it's a pretty good chance. This is not Anthony Davis, okay? If Cam Jordan's on the sideline, it's because he's hurt, okay? Never mind that it was 4th down and 10, okay? Or the countless other times we have seen players fake injury. No. The Saints are going to pay. And listen, man, we think of it as monopoly money now because you find the Saints $350,000, and who cares, right? Okay, Miss Benson's not going to miss the rent this month, okay? But Dennis Allen got fined $100,000. Now, again, it's monopoly money, and we throw these terms around, and it's $100,000. Well, he's rich. I couldn't find. I looked really hard. Dennis Allen's exact salary is not published anywhere, but what I was able to find out is it's probably somewhere between $3 and $4 million. Just imagine it was 3% of your yearly salary you got fined for something that you probably didn't. Do they really think that in that moment Dennis Allen got on the headset and communicated to Ryan Newman to communicate to Cam Jordan, fake an injury on the field so we can stop it on fourth down? The NFL assumed all of those things when they fined this group. Would you like to be fined 3% of your salary, whatever you make, 3% of your salary for this little 10-second stoppage of the clock? Really? The NFL is so fine happy, okay? You know the big red Salvation Army, I'm going to call it a bucket, but the big container in Dallas, okay? They went and jumped in the Salvation Army, the Cowboys did. You know, they had scored, and they went and jumped in the bucket. The NFL fined them for it. Now, this is a charity that they are spotlighting in one of the premier stadiums in the world. And the Dallas Cowboys, love them or hate them, are very visible. You would think the NFL would say, nice job, guys. Way to draw some attention here in the holiday season. Some people will give to the Salvation Army. Maybe that they went. Nope, they got fined. Your socks are too high. Your socks are too low. That towel's the wrong color. What else do they like to fine people for? You said something about a player on another team, so that's collusion. Or, God forbid, you said something about the referees. They're going to fine you for that, too. It is millions of dollars in fines. It's just, for whatever reason, they can fine you for almost, ask Hester, okay? Hester flung a football in the stands and got fined, I think, $5,000. Our friend Todd McClure got fined for a play that he wasn't even penalized. And I said, Todd, did you ever get fined in the NFL? He's like, twice in 13 years. And I said, what were they for? He says, well, one of them I deserved, the other one I didn't. It was for a penalty that he didn't even get penalized on. Where does all this money go, Roger? Well, we send it to charitable donations. Why didn't you send it to the Salvation Army? Okay? I mean, if you're really interested in, furthering charitable contributions and things like that, send it to them. No. We're gonna find Cam Jordan. I don't know what Ryan Nielsen makes, okay? But $50,000 ain't nothing. I mean, it's not like Ryan Nielsen's making $10 million a year. I'm sure he's paid well. I'm sure he's handsomely compensated. But Cam Jordan takes a shot to the whatever, goes down on one knee, happens at a point in the game where they need the clock stopped, and all of a sudden, he's light $50,000. I want somebody, not me because it would, be an awful lot of trouble, but somebody needs to go find out where the NFL is sending all of these charitable donations for some of the fines that they got, at any rate. We'll take a break. We'll come back with some of your questions and some news from college basketball that could be interesting to you because it may involve LSU. This is Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time.
Big Mike's in Denham Springs with live music coming up tomorrow night. Chris Allen, and on Saturday it's Ernest Scott. Here during the holiday season, make your holiday plans at Big Mike's. If you want to throw a party, one of the multiple party rooms that you can rent over at Big Mike's, or if you want off-site catering to cater a party at your home or at your business, they can take care of you there as well. Gift card specials. When you're buying gifts for others, you're going to get a little bit back for yourself. If you purchase $30 in gift cards, you get $5 off your next visit. If you purchase $50 in gift cards, you'll get $10 off your next visit, and $100 will get you $20 off on your next visit to Big Mike's. Is your next visit this Sunday for the NFL? Saints and the Falcons playing for pride. You will have happy hour drink specials all throughout the day at Big Mike's. On Aspen Boulevard in the heart of Denham Springs, Big Mike's. We're kind of a big deal.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
All right, let's say ah.
It's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. We'll take a closer look at the Falcons as they come into the Dome, the latest from the transfer portal, Tigers and Pels basketball recaps. It's all on Wednesday's AFR 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time with Charles Hannegriff on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
So the latest in the really long, really involved investigations into corruption in college basketball. We got some sanctions in the Arizona case. Okay, we're getting closer, guys. NC State got theirs. Oklahoma State got theirs. Auburn got theirs. Now Arizona's got theirs. Sean Miller, remember that guy? It's at Xavier now. He's actually back at Xavier. Arizona was charged with 5 level 1 violations that took place during Miller's tenure there. Miller was facing a level 1 charge that he did not demonstrate that he promoted an atmosphere for compliance and monitored his staff within the basketball program. Where'd DeAndre Ayton end up? Did he go pro? Yeah. Was he a high pick? I forget.
Drafted ahead of Luka and Trae Young. So, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Did anybody get drafted in front of him? No, he was the first pick, wasn't he? Ah, yes. Level 1 violations for recruiting the number 1 pick in the draft and maybe providing some inducements. Not that that ever happens in college basketball. So what happens here? This was Book Richardson. Remember Book Richardson? Miller's former assistant over there. The guy that said, he was trying to get Nas Reed. LSU put $300,000 on the table for Nas Reed. Put him on the stand. What happened? Made it up. He did, however, accept $20,000 for which he had to go to the pokey. So Richardson got penalized, obviously. Christian Dawkins, remember that guy? He was in the middle of all this. 4 years, wiretaps, DeAndre Ayton, money. Miller lost his job, not because of the violations, but because they weren't winning enough. So what happened to Sean Miller today? Nothing. Sean Miller will not face any sanctions in the Arizona infractions case. Zippo, nothing, nada, 0 in the morning for Sean Miller. For the first time, I think Will Wade might actually skate. Arizona's been charged with these violations. I mean, they got a few little slap on the wrist. Nothing of any. Nothing of any. They got some recruiting restrictions and things like that, and have to go to the chalkboard and write 500 times, "I will not be mean to the NCAA anymore." What a joke! How much money did they spend on this? The NFL should send the fine money to pay for this investigation. This case has been going on for 5 years, man. 5 years. They finally came to the end of it. And what happened? Nothing. Absolutely 0. Hunt Palmer is next. This has been Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time.
If you're a business owner and you're having a problem with staffing, you are not alone. Folks at Tiger Labor and Staffing can help you out here because staffing is increasingly frustrating. The number of no-show interviews, the number of background checks that you have to perform, the number of unqualified applicants, the screening, the onboarding. Listen, it's time-consuming, and it keeps you away from the things that you really need to be doing to move your business forward. Let Tiger Labor and Staffing help you with all that. They'll take care of all your screening, all of your background checks, all of your onboarding, all of your training, and you'll be able to cut your payroll expenses, and you'll be able to focus on the things that you need to focus on in your day-to-day business operations. You know, Tiger Labor and Staffing, if you're looking for a job, they'll be able to match you with a job that's most like your qualifications, and you get some quick turnarounds on pay. So if you're looking for seasonal employees for a day, a week, or a month, you maybe just need them here during the holiday season, let Tiger Labor and Staffing help you out there as well. Success begins with the eye of the tiger. Go to tigerlabor.com.